of fear of driving. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you don't know, I'm a state certified driving instructor, and we're going to talk about some of these elements today. I want to welcome you in. So let's go ahead and get it. Generation Z has many reasons, right? A lot of people will agree or disagree. Anxiety. Anxiety is real. I teach teens and adults, and a lot of young adults, 20, 25, 27, have had trauma, either through a relationship or parents in an accident, or they have been driving and got into an accident and they never want to get into a vehicle again. So anxiety is real. The next one is finances. Driving lessons is expensive. I'm a certified instructor. Private lessons are very expensive, 45, 50 dive, $75 an hour. Road test prep. So it's very expensive. Next, environmental concerns. A lot of people are moving toward digital. I understand, and I'm here to help. So I think this will be helpful to you. Environmental concerns. Cars are polluters. There's a big trend toward EVs. And, I'm talking about a series on the batteries. And, you're buying used Teslas, and I'm not against Teslas. I definitely want to help you get over it. Listen, leave comments, subscribe, and then definitely I want to get you guys on podcast. I have a Google number. We'll talk about that. And I definitely, because all of you are very committed to the channel, so I want to help you in any way that I can, give you positive encouragement, give you support, because that's why I do this. It's about pass the written test, yes. We will definitely help you, Erica. I'll do everything I can, give you support. We'll do a Zoom call. We'll set it up, right? It's going to be coming maybe in the next couple of days, okay? So when I go live, leave your information and we'll figure it out, or email me, okay? So environmental concerns, getting a car. If you get a used car, it could break down in a couple of years. You spent $5,000 or $10,000. It's high mileage, tires, brakes, and if you are not mechanically inclined, I built motors in high school and college and race and all that. You got to know how to take care of your vehicle, right? Oil change, changing a tire, a battery, windshield wiper blades. That's just the basic stuff, Most cars will get about 100,000 miles, but after that, you're going to have to replace tires, brakes, just general maintenance to keep the car going. So it's a risky deal, even if you're buying a used car, let alone a new car. Many members of Generation Z haven't got their license because they've gotten into accidents. And that's one of the common things that I hear because I talk to teens and adults. One of my clients, she was 32. Compass, yes, that Jeep Compass is nice. They're a smaller vehicle, pretty friendly, but you got to get insurance and you got to take care of those vehicles, right? So the next one I want to talk about is what percentage of adults don't drive. It's about 15%. About 15% adults don't drive. They don't have a valid driver's license. You're driving around, AKA dirty. If you get pulled over and get caught, you're going to get a ticket. The age group is the highest percentage without a license is 16 to 19, 65%. And the older group is anywhere from 20 to 24. So if you're in that group, that might fall into it. To get that license will give you independence. But the next step, you got to get insurance. You got to get a reliable vehicle. You have to stay up on your maintenance. And it's more than just putting gas in, right? If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. I'm going to continue. What is the most annoying thing about driving habits? Texting while driving. You will get your license. I will definitely help you in any way I can, right? And that's why you're taking the time. I asked you to come on this time. Texting while driving, that seems to be the biggest distractor of driving. They could rear end someone, they drift out of their lane. That is the most egregious thing that we all see as people out there. People are on the phone. Blind spots, not checking blind spots. They'll cut over in front of you. And then that's dangerous because all of a sudden the car comes out of their lane into your lane and you're caught off guard. You're like, whoa. And that's very scary in itself because when I teach teens and adults, we see drivers drifting. You can see them on the phone. The next annoying habit is tailgating. because people are very aggressive. We call them Kens and Karens. I'm just being honest. It is what it is. And I've seen this over the last 2 or 3 years. Post COVID, people are driving very fast, very aggressive, tailgating, cutting you off, not going just 10 over the limit. If the speed limit's 70, they're going 5, that's 75. They're going 10, that's 80. So people leave at the last second. So those of you who are listening, leave earlier. Get up a little bit earlier. Get your breakfast. Make sure you have gas in your car. And we're supposed to have an ice storm tonight, so I may have to cancel some of my drives. We just have to see. So you got to stay aware with the weather. Road rage, that's 91%. People are not patient, right? I had a young lady, my male student was driving, leaving the name out. He made a right turn, lost speed. The young female under 21 almost rear-ended us, cut us off. Then she gave the middle finger. And I'm saying to myself, whoa. On top of that, this is a female. So females acting like this now? This is not okay behavior. So I told my student, don't take it personal, keep it moving. And I had to be the bigger person because I'm teaching a person how to drive, but yet this young lady put her middle finger up, cut us off, and then brake checked us. So I try to teach my students a balanced approach. Okay. At what age do people stop driving? It's around 85 years old. All of us will live, hopefully, to 100 years old. At one point in time, you may have to take the license from someone in your family, grandma, grandpa, uncle, auntie. And driving is independence. And you've been driving for over 30, 40 years. You're saying they're not going to want to give it up, right? It's going to be a family fight. I live in Houston. I see this all the time. Yes. My son is down there in Prairie View. Okay, so I definitely understand that. And those huge metropolitan areas, and Texas is a huge state. So people are living longer. In 2030, the oldest sector where I live will be 40 years old. They'll be at the top of the population pyramid. It depends. So the time you stop driving should be determined by your performance on the road. If you are not in your lane, you're driving slow, then you maybe need to consider, well, who's going to talk to grandma? I'm not going to do it. She's going to be mad at me. She's going to take me out of the inheritance. My cousins won't like me. Well, what is best for grandma? What is best for grandpa? You got to really think about that. And usually it comes from the oldest sibling in the family. Okay. So my mom was the oldest sibling in the family and she didn't play. And if she said, hey, we need to do this, it happened. And my mom would speak truth. So I learned that from my mom by being the oldest of 10, right? So being the oldest of 10, you got the personal responsibility to make sure your mom or dad, if they're having a lot of accidents and no one's really watching them, then maybe we need to take their license. And that's hard because you will have the criticism of your family members all the time. And my mom always spoke truth. So you got to think about what's the best. So you got to start preparing for that. Okay. The most annoying habit, we talked about that. People not using blinkers, people tailgating, being very aggressive, cutoffs. Makes sense. My grandma might have to get rid of the road soon. It is hard because I remember my grandfather driving, an ambulance came behind us and he didn't get over. And I remember the policeman knocking on the window, hey, get over. And I'm like, I was like about 10 and I remember that. And my grandpa was losing his memory, becoming senile. And I remember that officer was really angry, right? Not so much at my grandpa, but the fact that he heard a siren and he didn't pull over. He was losing his hearing, right? And during that time, you got to follow the rules and laws. Hey, if this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Can you still drive at 90 years old? Yes, you can. There's no legal limit, right? I took driver's ed in high school, passed it. Yes, with the B, that's awesome. But now, and Miss Jackson, I want to help you get to that next level, through us talking, podcast, doing a Zoom call. I'll put in the Google number because I want to help you get to that next step because you're going to be relying on someone to get you to a job. A car is $3,000 to $5,000. Then you have to, on top of that, put gas in, tires, brakes. I just want to be able to come over. Yes, um, I understand that. And you've had to be patient by you taking the first step to listen to me, and hopefully I'm motivating you, encouraging you. Um, have a cousin, a close friend. Do you have any tips on getting my permit? 21st, I'm 16, but I have to wait 6 months. Um, every state has a probationary period. During that 6 months, you've got to drive. You have to record your driving. There's usually an app called Road Ready, and then you put your name and email in and password. Once you get into a car, you hit drive, and it will record your driving. And then after a certain amount of time, if you're 16 and have 50 hours, you're eligible to take your road test. So you've got to get that driving time in. And I have some good videos. A neighbor came over, hey, can you help me? We went out, we worked on parallel parking, right? 18 with no license, what should I start? Number one, you need to go to the Secretary of State. You need to get your TIP. A TIP is called a temporary instruction permit. This allows you, I believe, myself, you will. And everyone is different. I get a little claustrophobic. I understand. I almost drowned when I was younger. I'm fearful of the water. So it's real, right? And sometimes I panic at night and wake up. So that panic, it's real. And don't let anyone say it's not, because they don't understand. They don't walk in your boots. They don't breathe the air you breathe. So you got to go to Secretary of State. You got to get that TIP, temporary instruction permit. And I think it costs $21, $24, $25. I'm 30. I have my permit before. Yeah, you got to have that permit, drive, and then go take that road test. Erica, I'm not sure what state you live in. You might want to put it in. We can check. But after about 30 days, 45 days, then you have your hours, and then you go to approved road tester. You got to parallel park, angle park, know how to downhill park, some type of parking maneuvers. Then you get on the road. You got to drive at the speed limit. You can't go over speed. If you go over speed, automatic failure. If you run a red light. I live in Cali. Cali is a huge area. What I would do is find the nearest DMV, Houston, Texas, find the nearest DMV, go in and talk to them. I'm going to be interviewing a DMV worker very soon, and I'm trying to get them on the show to ask some questions. Oklahoma, okay, I've been there before. So go to the nearest DMV or call them and say, hey, here's where I am. What is my next move? And a private lesson won't hurt. NYC, a huge area. All the areas all of you are mentioning, New York, Houston, Cali, huge areas, a lot of people. And these road testers, hey, you sign up for your time, they're expecting you to know how to drive. If you're going slower, you might not pass, okay? So you gotta drive at the speed limit or near and be safe and consistent, making those right turns, doing those head checks, looking left, looking right, being able to maneuver and do your parallel park or stall park or park by the curb 12 inches or less away from the line. You guys tell me what you need, and then I'll make that video and then give you that feedback. Why are what are poor driving habits? Distracted driving is the biggest one. There's some bad habits you need to break. I want to talk about these bad habits. One is distracted driving. Cut the radio off, cut the phone off, have it low in the background. A lot of my students say, hey, can I listen to music? And I'm thinking to myself, you're getting ready to start dancing in the car, we should be driving. Cut the music down. I'm not against music, right? Number two is speeding. People are driving 10 over, 12 over, 15 over. If you learn those aggressive driving habits, you're going to fail your knowledge. You're going to fail your road test. So that's the biggest thing that I see is people driving really fast. Next, driving while intoxicated. You should never do that. I'm a state certified instructor. No marijuana, no drinking. I don't want to lose my endorsement. It's a blessing. It's really helped myself and my family. So you can't drive intoxicated. And we were discussing that the other day, and I'm going to do some reaction videos very soon. Cutting cars off, that's selfish behavior, because someone's going to road rage on you. They're going to hit your car. They're going to come out, bang on your window. People carry weapons. Why do you want that violence? I always want to be courteous, use my blinker, check my blind spot. If you're making a lane change to the right. I wish there was a universal driving endorsement. I'm certified here in the Northeast, but I will give you everything I can. Virtual lessons, right? I want to really set something up for you because you really take the time to listen to my content. We'll do a Zoom meeting. We'll do a Google Meet. I have that set up on my computer. Just put your information in, and then we'll set that up. Okay. I have a half day Friday. I'm off Monday, so I'll be going live. Uh, I would love to have all of you on like a Google Meets, and we all can really talk and make it real. I want to bring you that value. So you don't want to cut off cars, right? Next, disregarding traffic signs. No right turn on red. You make a right turn, cut off a car. No left turn. You make a left turn. So you just have to learn the right way from the beginning, and then you're going to have a great driving experience. Merging incorrectly, that's really big. I had one student abandon their merge. That's the worst thing in driver's ed. The speed limit 70, and he was going 30 on the ramp. I said, oh my God. And then he started going slower. And I said to myself, oh boy. He abandoned the merge. We pulled over to the side. I said, hey, are you okay? I just got scared. So I talked to him a moment. I said, you got to push the gas. I looked over my shoulder. There's a gap. Push the gas pedal to the floor. Accelerating on yellow. That's a bad habit where you're running yellow lights. You will fail your road test. Eventually, you will get T-boned by cross traffic. Try to build habits. I'm not saying slam brakes. I'm saying when you can slow down safely within 3 seconds, 1001, 1002, 1003, because cars run lights. Ignoring blind spots. I see that all the time. This is my blind spot here. I look over my shoulder. This is my blind spot here. You have to look over your shoulder. If you look too long, the car is going to veer off the road. Okay? Then you can't have someone screaming at you in the car, failing to signal. It irritates people. It makes them mad. It's dangerous. And it kind of catches you off guard. It makes your heart like go whoo, and it drops down. So people have got to use their turn signals consistently through the whole process. Driving while angry. If you're really mad or angry or sad, don't drive that day. Call in, hey, I can't come in. Have someone take you in, because if you're angry and emotional, you just don't care. And that's where we are today with the anger. Next will be driving while tired. The road test cars, do they really have pedals? Okay, on the level 1 driver's education cars, yes, we have a dual pedal. I have a pedal on the passenger side. I have a brake. A lot of people think, do you have a steering wheel? I'm not that old, okay? I'm still young. But in the early 70s, they had a driving simulator. And I was thinking about some ideas about that. So we just have a brake. I have a brake on the passenger side. There's a brake. And then we have dual mirrors. So I'll do a little tutorial on that. Driving while tired, that's the biggest thing. I was driving yesterday, didn't get home till 11, had to drive a student. So driving while tired is huge. Don't drive when you're tired. Tailgating. If you're tailgating and being aggressive, it's an automatic. It's an automatic fail if they have to. Yes, if they have to turn the wheel to keep you from hitting the curb. Turn the wheel because you didn't look to the left. And yes, and so, we're all human. Some road testers, they have to follow all the expectations of the state they're in. Your car, you can't run lights. You've got to stay within the speed limit. You have to have a complete stop for 3 seconds. You have to demonstrate vehicle control. The next time I come on, I will talk about what they are looking for on the road test. I have some information for you. Tailgating, that sets people off. Going without your seatbelt, you'll be ejected from the car. That's the automatic failure. Put your seatbelt on. Rubbernecking, there's an accident. You look and you just rear into someone. And we all are naturally attracted to those lights, but you got to stay focused. Parking illegally, they're going to tow your car. I've never got a parking ticket before, excuse me, because I take pride in parking. And I'm going to do a really in-depth tutorial on parking. It's best to wait since the middle school. Have no idea. Yeah, it is. Yes, someone, you want to keep space and you want to take your time and really gain comfort every time you drive. And that's the biggest thing, feeling comfortable. You can't have your mom and dad screaming, your sister or brother. All of you have to do this for you. If I want to learn how to swim truly, I have to get over my fear. I have to have an instructor who's going to be patient with me. I get claustrophobic sometimes. I have to get over that. And it's hard. And I still avoid certain medical procedures because I'm claustrophobic. So you got to learn driving erratic, cutting in. I call it erratic lane changers. Drive with speed and purpose, so you'll be consistent, right? Loose cargo, having your book bag hit you in the head, baseball bat, football equipment, the little brother and sister's toys, all this stuff will hit you in the head. Tie that cargo down. Using headphones or earbuds, you got to be able to hear things. Okay, your music should not be your first priority. Driving should be, right? Not turning on your headlights. This happens to people who are getting gas. Most cars have automatic headlights today. People, if this brought you value, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Those of you who have stayed here, I'll be putting a Google number in, email me, and I want to do a live Google Meets call where we all can talk and interact. I want to say thank you today. It was really awesome, and subscribe if this brought you value. Bye.